In our previous episode, we followed the footsteps of Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist who entered a consulate and never came out, a man whose pen threatened power and whose silence exposed the shadows behind diplomacy. His murder wasn't just a crime, it was a message, and the echo of that message still shakes the world. But today, we go back to a time when Europe was ruled by crowns, not constitutions, when loyalty was bought, betrayal was whispered, and revolutions were born in silence. He was called William the Silent, but on a summer afternoon in 1584, his silence was shattered by the crack of a pistol, the first successful assassination with a firearm in European history. No daggers, no poison, just one bullet, and a republic that would rise from the blood. Stay with us, because this isn't just the story of a man. It's the moment when gunpowder met politics, and the future of a nation changed in a single shot. Welcome to the red pages of history, where every echo has a trigger, and every silence has a witness. He was born into privilege. William of Nassau, later known as William the Silent, came from one of the most powerful noble families in Europe. At just 11 years old, he inherited vast estates, and with them, a title, Prince of Orange. He was raised in the court of Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor and King of Spain. Educated in diplomacy, fluent in multiple languages, trained to serve the crown. At first he did. William was loyal. He held high offices. He led armies. He was trusted by the Spanish monarchy to govern the Low Countries, what we now call the Netherlands and Belgium. But the land he ruled was changing. The Protestant Reformation had swept across Europe. Ideas of personal faith, resistance to papal authority, and rejection of Catholic dogma were spreading fast. In the Netherlands, these ideas found fertile ground, especially among merchants, artisans, and intellectuals. But Spain, under Philip II, was fiercely Catholic, and Philip had no tolerance for dissent. He sent the Duke of Alva to crush the rebellion. Thousands were executed, cities were burned. The Council of Troubles, nicknamed the Blood Council, turned the region into a theater of terror. William watched, and something shifted. He began to speak out, cautiously at first, then openly. He called for religious tolerance, local autonomy, and an end to persecution. He didn't declare war, he declared conscience, and for that, he became a threat. Philip II branded him a traitor, placed a bounty on his head, 25,000 crowns for anyone who would kill him, a royal license to assassinate. But William didn't back down. He became the leader of the Dutch Revolt, a movement that would eventually birth the Dutch Republic. He rallied provinces, negotiated alliances, survived multiple assassination attempts, and through it all, he remained calm, measured, silent. Not because he had nothing to say, but because he believed that reason must speak louder than rage. His nickname, William the Silent, wasn't about muteness. It was about restraint, about diplomacy in the face of fanaticism. But in a Europe torn between Catholic monarchies and Protestant uprisings, restraint was dangerous, and William had become the face of rebellion. To the Spanish crown, he was a heretic. To Catholic loyalists, a traitor. To Protestant rebels, a hero. And to Balthazar Gerard, a young zealot who believed he was serving God and King, William was a target. The Prinsenhof in Delft was quiet. Thick stone walls kept the summer heat out. The corridors echoed faintly with footsteps, servants, guards, the rhythm of a noble household. William of Orange, dressed in a modest doublet, had just finished lunch. He was walking toward the staircase with his wife, Louise de Coligny, beside him. They spoke softly. He was calm, unaware that death was waiting just meters away. In the shadows of the corridor stood Balthazar Gerard, young, rigid, eyes locked on his target. He had hidden the wheel-lock pistol beneath his cloak, a clunky, unreliable weapon, but deadly at close range. He had practiced, he had prayed, and now he was ready. William stepped forward. Gerard emerged. No words, just movement. He raised the pistol. Click. Boom. The first shot tore into William's chest, just below the heart. He staggered, A gasp. Blood sprayed across the wall. Louise screamed. Gerard fired again. The second bullet ripped through William's side, shattering ribs, tearing flesh. He collapsed instantly, his body hitting the stone floor with a sickening thud. Blood pooled fast, dark, thick. It spread beneath him, soaking into the cracks of the ancient tiles. William tried to speak. His lips moved, but no sound came. Servants rushed in. Guards followed. Louise knelt beside him, her hands trembling, pressing against the wounds, but it was useless. His eyes dimmed, his breathing slowed, and within minutes, William the Silent was gone. Gerard turned to flee, but the guards caught him, dragged him down. He didn't resist. He had done what he came to do. The blood on the stone floor of the Prinsenhof didn't just mark the death of a man, it marked the birth of a republic. William of Orange was more than a noble. He was the voice of resistance, the architect of Dutch independence, and his assassination sent shockwaves through Europe. The Spanish crown celebrated. They had silenced their greatest enemy, but they hadn't killed the cause. Instead, William's death became a rallying cry. Provinces that had hesitated now united. His son, Maurice of Nassau, took up the mantle, and the 80 Years' War raged on until the Dutch Republic was born. The assassination also changed the rules of power. It was the first successful political killing with a firearm in Europe, a turning point from daggers in the dark to bullets in daylight. It showed that no amount of nobility, diplomacy, or restraint could shield a leader from fanaticism, and that silence, even noble silence, could be shattered in a single shot. But William's legacy endured. He became a symbol of freedom, tolerance, and resistance against tyranny. His name lives on in the Dutch national anthem. His ideals shaped a nation, and his death reminded the world, sometimes the price of peace is paid in blood. If this story gripped you, if you believe history isn't just dates and names, but echoes of choices, betrayals, and courage, then subscribe to the Red Pages of History, because behind every crown, behind every silence, there's a bullet waiting to be understood, and we're here to tell its story.